Hello there, and welcome to Risky Business, keeping you legal in 5 minutes or less. Well, it's April, and you know what that means. It's National Fair Housing Month, and today we are discussing Article 10 of the Realtor Code of Ethics. This is the article of the code that tells you how to maintain your higher level of ethics when complying with the Fair Housing Act. Article 10 of the Code of Ethics prohibits realtors from discriminating against people based upon protected classes in certain circumstances. First, let's discuss what those protected classes are. The protected classes contained in the Realtor Code of Ethics are race, color, religion, sex, handicap, familial status, national origin, and sexual orientation. Second, the code discusses in a general sense when you are prohibited from discriminating based upon those protected classes. You may not deny equal professional services, participate in a plan or agreement to discriminate, or discriminate in your employment practices based upon a person's protected class status. By using standards of practice, the code further expands upon the requirements contained in Article 10. The standards of practice define your limitations when involved or not involved in a residential sale or lease transaction. When you are involved in a residential sale or lease, realtors are prohibited from volunteering information regarding the racial or ethnic composition of a neighborhood. When you're not involved in a residential sale or lease transaction, you are able to provide demographic information related to a property, transaction, or professional assignment, so long as the information is deemed by you as a realtor as being necessary to assist with or complete a transaction or professional assignment, and you obtain or derive that information from a recognized, reliable, independent, and impartial source. Also remember, you're required to disclose the source of any shared information in reasonable detail. Another standard of practice clarifies for realtors what is meant when the code prohibits discrimination in employment practices. Typically, the word employment refers strictly to an employer-employee relationship. However, Standard of Practice 10-4 clarifies that employment in this context includes even an independent contractor relationship. Therefore, when brokers or firms are contemplating a new independent contractor, whether salesperson or associate broker, they may not consider a person's status in one of the protected classes. You should be careful to remember as a realtor that it's not just your acts and practices that are regulated under the Fair Housing Act and the Code of Ethics. Your advertisements and statements are similarly obligated to comply with the protections contained in the Act and Code. Be careful that your ads and statements do not suggest any type of preferences or discrimination based upon protected class. This is perhaps the trickiest provision with which realtors are required to comply. Rather, it's perhaps raises the most questions. For example, members commonly ask whether publishing an ad in another language, such as Spanish, or running an ad in a Christian church news bulletin suggests a preference for Latinos or Christians. The answer is no, so long as the substantive content of the ad doesn't suggest a preference for Latinos or Christians. While the line is clear, you can see where this could raise lots of questions. If indeed you have such questions about this provision or anything else that we've discussed today, always feel free to contact me at the board. I also encourage you to take the time to read the entirety of Article 10 and its standards of practice. Also visit the websites of the Federal Fair Housing Administration, the National Association of Realtors, and the Texas Association of Realtors for more information and resources. Until next time, here's wishing you more business and less risk. Take care.